The governing body on the continent, Rugby Africa, and the Tunisia Rugby Union have apologised to the Zimbabwean national team after they were forced to sleep on the streets in the North African country, Tunis. Social media was abuzz earlier after images surfaced on social media showing the players sleeping on the streets of the Tunisian capital due to appalling accommodation and a lack of funds. Well, the Sables, as the national team is known, travelled to Tunis from Nairobi after losing to Kenya in a World Cup qualifier last weekend. They're now hoping to get their campaign back on track in the North African country. Now, the players claim that they haven't been paid their match fees or daily allowances and that they were held up at the airport for 6 hours when authorities took their passports after they were unable to pay a visa fee into entering Tunisia. Well, Rugby Africa said in a statement that the Zimbabwean players have since been moved to a more suitable hotel. Well, watching this story for us is our Zimbabwe correspondent, Ephert Musekiwa. He joins me now on the line from Harare. Ephert, thanks very much for joining us. What is the situation with the team right now? Have they found better accommodation as reported?
Yeah, good afternoon, Peter. Yes, I can confirm. Earlier on, I did speak to the Minister of Sports, Minister Kazembe, who did highlight that the Sables have indeed been moved to a better hotel, that he had been in touch with the authorities in Tunisia and they've managed to get them better accommodation and they've managed to get them accommodated in a better hotel, and right now they are off the street as we currently speak.
All right, so government must be very concerned about this matter, that they would sleep on the streets when a host country is should be playing host.
Yes, indeed. The minister did highlight his concern. Actually, he said it is a treatment that many Zimbabwean teams have faced every time they've traveled to the northern part of Africa. And he said that whenever teams come to Zimbabwe, they give them the best of treatment. And earlier on, this is what the minister actually had to say on the matter.
Concerned, obviously, especially given the fact that recently we hosted Morocco successfully, and we have had no complaints from the Moroccan team. And like what the president of the Zimbabwe Rugby Union said earlier on, the same was expected of Tunisia, because this tournament is fully funded by Rugby Africa, and the government doesn't intervene at all in terms of costs. But obviously we are perturbed as a government to see our boys being treated like that.
Well, talking about those boys, the players have been complaining about not getting their allowances. What's the Zimbabwe Rugby been saying about that?
We also did manage to get a hold of the president of the Zimbabwe Rugby Union. When we posed the question to him about the allowances, he said that it was a matter of logistics and that the allowances for the players were paid through their bank accounts. So the allowances have been paid, but unfortunately the players had not received the allowances before they left. And he said that for those players that have taken to social media, disciplinary action is going to be instituted. For more, here is what he also had to say on the matter.
Unfortunately, again, it's this new era that we live in of social media. When we address the teams, and which I addressed before when we were in Kenya, it's we emphasize the pride in wearing the jersey, the pride in representing your country, and this is what we emphasize to our players. Unfortunately, you will get those one or two players who will think that they are a law unto themselves, and this is what we have. And of course, the disciplinary processes will kick in when they return.
And perhaps finally, Ephert, what have been Zimbabweans saying and reacting to this story, seeing their national team heroes sleeping on the streets?
A lot of Zimbabweans that we've managed to speak to actually are disgusted. They are saying that government is not doing enough. They're actually blaming the government. They are blaming the Zimbabwe Rugby Union, saying that they should have known or they should have given the players some form of a contingency allowance before they left. because they are saying that it embarrasses the nation and it takes away the pride from those that will be representing Zimbabwe. So a lot of people are really not happy with the situation. I think social media since morning has been abuzz with this development, and a lot of complaints, a lot of suggestions, and a lot of statements have come through from various Zimbabweans, that include politicians, just your ordinary people. Everyone has pretty much made their voice heard regarding this matter, that they are not happy with what they see coming out of Tunisia.
All right, Ephert Musekiwa, thanks very much indeed for that update. That was our Harare correspondent, Ephert Musekiwa, reporting live. Right, let's catch you up with sport, perhaps less dramatic, or dramatic in a good way. Pearl has the details.